Hey everybody, Lee from PcjunkieMods here. So I'm going to be doing something a little different. I'm actually going to start a build. I don't anticipate it taking too long because I'm going to do some modifications to the case, get some powder coat done, full water cooling. So basically I'm going to be building myself a land box, something a little bit smaller than usual, something that's going to be a little more portable and not weigh 2 tons to carry to a LAN party. So a guy from LANFest actually gave me one, an old school Cooling Master case. It's the ATCS chassis. It is a very old one. I went ahead and cleaned it up. It has a lot of potential. It had stickers all over it. I've removed the stickers. I've cleaned out some of the dust. So let me give you a look at it. So what I have here is a old school Cooling Master ATCS, an active thermal convective system is what they called that. As you can see, it's very old. It's a little beat up here on the grill. I've already disconnected, unscrewed the grill. It had two 80mm fans in the front. At some point it looks like it might have had USB, but somebody hijacked those suckers. And of course your power button and your reset button. That was all on the front, and then a couple 3.5s and then plenty of 5 1/4s. So I'm pretty much going to change the whole front, whole appearance here. As you can see, the side is nice clean side. And the top had a little 80mm vent up top. Had a top mounted power supply, removable motherboard tray, as you can see. There's the rail system at the bottom, and then there's also one up there. I'm not a fan of these standoff type of motherboard trays, so I will be changing the motherboard tray, most likely just this piece. The rest of it looks like it'll function for what I need it to do. So the plan is pretty much to invert this whole setup here in the back. Basically I'm going to take the top off. I've already taken off all the screws and looked it over. I'm going to take this whole back piece off, flip it around. That'll put my power supply at the bottom. It'll also invert my motherboard. This is going to be an actual micro ATX system, so I'm going to put my Rampage Extreme, the Rampage Gene Extreme in here with a 4960X and two 680s, and I'm going to make this fully water cooled, so chances are when I flip this around I'm only going to be using for the first 4 slots out of the 7, which will leave me clearance to put a radiator in the top. And I'm still kicking around an idea what I'm going to do with this, because originally I wanted to keep the the front piece and cut this hole out pretty much even all the way down and up, one big old square, and then add a radiator and a fan grill or something in there. But this USB port here is over, the cut is further over than this cut, so I don't know, maybe I'll talk to somebody about remachining another piece for me, because it is a pretty thick piece of aluminum. Or I'll just have to make my own front piece, I guess. Either way, it'll be alright. And then basically I'm gonna put a nice big fat window here in the back, and that's about it. And then change the color. So alright, so I went ahead and taped some of this off. I've drilled out all the rivets on the case. Basically it's ready to fall apart. Just to give you an idea, this is just kind of sitting here. Just wanted to show you that it's still a chassis if you look at it. But for the most part, nothing's attached anywhere, as you can see. I want to go ahead and spin this around and show you what I got going on in the back. So one of my concerns was the screw pattern for the doors and the top piece. So the top, there's a piece that actually goes over this, and it's got a hole pattern here. I was just going to take this piece and flip it, but then I have to re-drill and tap holes. And there's not really any any room down here for me to put a plate on. So what I'm going to end up doing is, where you see the tape, everything on the inside of the tape, I'm actually going to cut that out, and then I'm going to take a piece of aluminum and make a whole new back that I'll attach to this, and then I'll attach my motherboard tray to that. So in doing that, I'm going to take the power supply and drop it down to the bottom, and I will keep this whole pattern, just move it down, because when I do that, what will happen is I'll be able to cut a hole in the bottom and have a vent at the bottom. So that's the back. So for the front, on the front area here, I only taped off one so far. So basically what I'm going to do is wherever you see tape, including there, that's all going to be gone. So I'm going to be cutting out this whole section and that whole section, and I've already drilled holes for rivets. I'm going to have a piece of 90. I should show you the 90s. So here's the bottom piece. So the bottom piece will go in between the, like so. This top piece would go up in here. Did you get that? Sorry, moved kind of fast. And then these side ones, this is the right one, so would go like that. And yeah, my holes aren't perfectly straight, but hey, you're not gonna really see that. And then one on the other side. So basically what the 90s will do is bring in, because once I cut all this out, basically these two pieces are gonna fall apart, and there's no support or attachment to the case at that point, because these sections are riveted at the bottom down here, this little flap, and that'll be gone. And then also up at the top, there's 3 rivets that the 5 1/4 is riveted into the top. So once I cut all that out, I lose all that. So what I'm going to do is use the 90s. The 90s will be attached to the chassis, and the 90s will also hold this whole section together. The only reason I'm keeping this section is because I like the whole being able to screw a front plate onto it. You know, 6 screws, and I can put whatever piece of aluminum or plastic or whatever onto the front and make my own front. So so that's the main reason I'm keeping that. Otherwise, I could just build a new front cage out of 90 and do whatever I wanted. But I like the way it attaches, so I'm going to stick with that. So that's where I'm at right now. So now my next step is to tape off this one, and then make my cuts, and then put the chassis back together and make sure everything's going to work, and figure out the motherboard tray, because I'm going to be flipping the motherboard tray. So when I say flip the motherboard tray, it's going to be inverted, so the video cards will be up toward the top, and my I/O is going to be down here, so the CPU will be down here. So that'll be the layout. Well, the CPU is not going to be down there because the power supply will be there, but right here, right in this general area, right above the power supply. And then I'll chop the top out with for 360 rad, and most likely on the front will be a 360 rad also for water cooling. So and then also I got I'm going to talk to Bill Owen about some I already talked to Bill about some parts for helping me out on this chassis. I already have some of his feet. I have 2 different types here. I have the billet aluminum feet, and then I have the knurled feet, and I think I'll probably end up going with the black ones. These give it a little bit higher. It's a little bit higher than that one, but it gives it a real sleek look. Not that these don't, but I like saving these guys for really big chassis. So anyways, thanks for watching my video. Stay tuned for the next episode. Until next time.